Hey, what is up guys, this is Marquito. Today I'm gonna do a hero review on Loreley. That is one of the best heroes on the endgame, and she's also really common, not one of the most common heroes, but she is really common on the endgame. Almost everyone uses her because of her role on a team. So she has a role of a support and also a damage dealer. And how so? So let's go to her skills. She first, on her active, does 180% damage to the enemy heroes, all the enemy heroes, removing burning, bleeding, poisoning, and weakening on herself. And also the friendly heroes gain burn, bleed, and poison, and silence resistance of 45% for 2 rounds. So if she fires first, for example, an enemy Aegina, each one on her team has 45% of not getting poisoned. That is one of her attributes, so that's really big. And she reduces the enemy speed for 35. And also that's really great, because on the end game, on T4 teams, everyone uses this almost the same team. And two heroes alike have the same speed. And when the enemy has less speed, yours always go first. And that's really big, that could change fights. Enemy skill damage is decreased by 30%. That's something, but not that big. And the attack power of all allies is increased by 20%. That's really big, that's a great buff. Second one, increases HP, attack, and energy by 50. So what that means is that she will have 100 energy when the fight begins. So she doesn't need an energy artifact, she will always fire round 1. That's unique and that's awesome. Increases skill damage, and the basic attack hits 2 enemies and reduces their speed by 20. Also the speed debuff, great, always good to have. When she's below 50% HP, remove all control on herself, heal herself for 3 rounds. Increase the energy again by 50, that's something that we're gonna be looking forward later. And damage reduced by 35%, also great. So with all that, we can build her for some different reasons. We can use her as a pure damage dealer, we can build her as a more supportive hero, but it doesn't matter how you build it, you want to have a speed rune for her. That's essential, because if you want to go full support on her, you'll go full speed, so she fires really early. And also, if you're going for damage, you should also be looking for a speed rune, because then she can fire before some of the enemy heroes that it's important for her to decrease the enemy skill damage, to decrease the enemy speed also. So if you're on my case, I like to run with damage on her, so Ragnarok is the best artifact on the game for damage. But other than that, you can run Queen's Crown. That's the option that you're going to be looking for when you're building her as a support hero. Okay, so now for the talents. This is what I built her with attack. But if you want to build her support, you just change this one for speed. It's either one of those. HP is not worth it to go for. This one should also be the damage reduction. Almost every hero should be using this one. The true damage is not that much of a big buff, since most teams already have a skill that grants 40% true damage, so plus 20 would not be that much of an increase, and this damage reduction is huge, so just go for this. And for her third talent, you want to be choosing the crit rate one. Crit rate and increases crit damage for 3 rounds whenever she has taken a crit. And with these, she crits really reliably and also for great damage. So if you want to build her support with speed, if you want to build her for damage, attack. This is what I've been looking for. This is how I like to build her with attack. I think she works best. And on the last tab, she has a skin, which is one of the best paid skins. Not of because of HP or attack, but of speed. And that's really great because with speed, she fires before the enemy Loreley. And that means your Loreley will always do more damage than the enemies. And also, since your fires first, some hero that wouldn't fire before the enemy Loreley might be firing before her. So that's something to keep in mind. And also, if you are building your Loreley full speed, with this 10 extra, she becomes faster than Freya, which is one of her, which is one of the heroes that can stop her by petrifying her if you're running her at full speed. So with normal speed, you're reaching this, and with full speed, you're reaching 1534. So, and with the 1534, and then Freya is 1539, so she's 5 units faster than Loreley. And then she can petrify Loreley and she won't be firing first round. So that's something to keep in mind. And one more reason that I like to use attack on her. I face a lot of people with Freya. And now, how to use her on your team. I'm gonna be fighting some people here. I'm gonna be fighting Xenon because he has a Freya and also... Okay. Xenon. Yeah, he's using Freya and he also has a good team. And he has Loreley with the skin. Yeah, 1539, he has the full speed Freya. So here's a setup with Loreley that could work. You don't need double scope for that. Any other heroes will work. So since Xenon has the skin, his Loreley will fire before mine. Most probably, yeah. And that's about it. Like most of Loreley's things is passive. So she reduces speed, she reduces skill damage, she grants attack to the team. So she's a support hero, but since I use her as attack, she also does great damage. As you see, 500,000 damage to most of the enemies. She does great damage. And one thing, I don't know if you saw it, but she got energy when she goes under 50 HP, 50% HP. So that's why some people like to use her as a tank, because then she will fire first round, get under 50% HP, and fire the second round, if possible. Which is not something that happens like all the time, but it's something that happens often. Then she fired. She will probably get under 50% HP here. Yeah, she got under 50%. Oh, she didn't fire because someone missed an attack on her. But then she would have fired round 2 as well. And her second active does way more damage than her first active. Because of the second skill that buffs her, and because she also gets her self buff from firing the first time. Let's see. Also didn't cleanse her this time. And also because when she gets under 50% HP, she also gains damage reduction paired with the second talent, the damage reduction from the second talent. She goes to like 55% damage reduction. So she actually becomes really tanky. See now, Loreley got under 50. Okay, of course. The enemy Freya petrified her. But again, she got under 50% HP and she would have cast it again on the second round. So this is an alternative to build her, but keep in mind, because she's tanking, some things like that could happen. She could get CC'd. Yeah, she got under and she instantly got the energy. Now she didn't get frozen, petrified. And she fired again round 2. So for a burst team, that helps a lot. But again, she's tanking, so she's gonna take a lot of damage really quickly. And that could not be good, because, you know, she's not a primary tank. But this is almost 3 million damage just from the first 2 casts, because right after she died. But this is something people have been running on my server, which is on my cluster, that really works. If you're facing Azathoth, that becomes a little bit harder, because, you know, Azathoth melts the front line. And she also heals herself, so she would do damage to herself by healing. So if you're facing a Azathoth, something like this, you might want to switch her back to maybe the back line. Yeah, good thing that the enemy Azathoth didn't apply the Executioner's Calling on her. But again, she's gonna fire round 2 again. Yep, look at her damage. More damage than Kurt. But that's because she fired twice and Kurt only fired once. We all know Kurt does way more damage, as he's only in main row to do damage. But Loreley, as a support hero, could also do lots of damage. And that's how I like to run her. You could run also the speed version of her, but that's something I really don't like that much, because fights nowadays are taking longer, like 5-7 rounds or even more. So making her a speed makes her more supportive, and that's not good for long fights. And something that I want to point out to end the video, she's really good to idle. Yeah, because she fires and then she gets 50 energy back. Like, see, she fires and she gets energy, and then she fires, her basic attacks hit 3 people and kill those 3, and then she fires again. So if you want to idle with her, it makes things way faster, and especially when you have a undead. So with the third talent to kill people when one enemy died, all the others get damaged as well. So this is how I like to idle, with Loreley the fastest and some undead to pair. And like, this reduced my idling time by a lot. But I guess that's all that I have for today. Thanks for watching, and bye.